Hey guys, here's your video on the right hand rule. Okay, so the right hand rule, it describes the direction. I'm going to write this down. The direction of the magnetic field. You've drawn these for bar magnets, but it describes the direction of the magnetic field not for a bar magnet, but for a current carrying wire. So when there's a current in a wire, the right hand rule applies to tell you the direction of the magnetic field. First we have to go through some terminology. Alright, we work in 3 dimensions when we use the right hand rule. Paper is only 2 dimensions, it's flat. So you could go left and right and up and down, but we also do into the page and out of the page as far as dimensions go. So that's our 3rd dimension, is that depth into the page or out of the page. To describe that, we think about looking at an arrow, alright? So there's some terminology that's based on the arrow. Okay, if you see the arrow coming towards you, like out of the page, then it looks like a point. But if you see the back of an arrow, it looks like an X. So that means the arrow would be going away from you. And we think about the same thing for a current in a wire. We think of it like an arrow. If you see a point like that, that means you're looking at the front of the arrow. So that means the current is coming towards you. And if you see an X, it means you're looking at the arrow traveling away from you, or the current traveling away from you, because that's the back of the arrow going away from you. So basically, this would be a point coming towards you, and this would be an X going away from you, right? So let's do some practice problems using the right hand rule. Obviously, you'll need your right hand for this. Alright, so we're going to look at 2 separate cross sections of a wire. Cross section means if you cut a wire in half and you looked inside the wire, what would you see? Is the cross section. The objective here is to draw the direction of the magnetic field for both of these wires. Alright, this is how to use the right hand rule to do it. What if the current is coming towards you in a wire cross section? That means a little dot like that. So that means it's coming out of the page is another way to say that. Towards you, or out of page, that's what the dot means. It's the front of the arrow you're looking at. What you do is your thumb is the direction of the current. So see how my thumb is pointed up? That means my thumb is coming out of the page, just like that dot. And then your fingers are the direction of the magnetic field. And you want to curl your fingers to do that, alright? So, do a little stretching session here. There we go. Alright, here's my thumb coming out of the page, and my fingers are curling around, and you have to say whether that's clockwise or counterclockwise. Well, in this situation with the dot, when my thumb points up or out of the page, my fingers curl counterclockwise. They curl around like this. Counterclockwise. There you go. And you could continue that around if you'd like. And that's the direction of a magnetic field around a wire that's coming out of the page. On the left side of the wire, the magnetic field points down. On the right side, it points up. On the bottom, it points to the right. Kind of like that. And if we continued around on the top, the magnetic field would point to the left, because that's the direction my fingers curled in. Now, if you want to look at the current going away from you, that would be an X, or into the page. There's another way to say that. Alright? So that means your thumb needs to face into the page to use the right hand rule on that. Okay, so face your thumb down, and which way do your fingers curl? They're not curling counterclockwise, but they're curling clockwise this time. Look at the way my fingers are curling when my thumb points down. So you just kind of face your hand right there. I'll move this over a little bit. You face your hand right there, thumb pointed down, curl your fingers like that. Why don't you practice that right now while you watch? Your fingers curl that way when your thumb faces down. That is clockwise. All right. Let's do a couple more examples. What if I gave you a wire with the current running to the right? Still, you face your thumb, your right thumb, all the time in the way the current goes, right? So right here, boop, my thumb is to the right there, and I curl my fingers again. Boop. So right, this example right here, see my thumb is the direction of the current. Hand goes up and around the wire. So here my fingers are coming towards me, and here my fingers are curling back away from me. Right? Above the wire my fingers are coming towards me, and below the wire they're going back away from me. Alright, so when they come towards me, that counts as a dot, and when they go away from you back into the page, that counts as an X. So that would be those dot and X would represent that the magnetic field is basically doing that around the wire. Alright, it's curling from the bottom over and entering back into the page below the wire. Use your right hand to do that. So if the current is to the left, some more stretching sessions here, my thumb points to the left and my hands curl over the top of the wire. Like that. So here they would go into the page on top of the wire. Here on the bottom of the page, they would exit again below the wire. Kind of like that. Alright? So here they would be coming out, and on top of the wire they would be going back into the page, right? Okay, so if the current is upwards, face your thumb upwards, and then you curl your finger around like that. Right? So here they're coming out of the page, and here they're going back into the page. Coming out is a dot, going back in is an X. Alright? So my current looks like, my magnetic field looks like that. Alright? And when the current goes downwards, face your thumb down. And you could see that on the right side of the wire, they're coming, whoop. On the left side of the wire, it's easy to see that they go into the page right there. So they're going to come out on the other side, like that. So they go into the page, that's an X, and out of the page, that's a dot, right? And you could also draw that to show, you know, they go in on the left side and go out on the right. Okay, so if this is hard for you to visualize on the video, if this didn't work for you, you know, we gave it a shot, you could come up to me and ask for clarification, and I could help you with your right hand.